want to take you back to high school, Texas kid growing up in Galveston. What's it like to be a Texas kid and go to the University of Texas? Know they want you. Is that a lifetime goal when you're a kid?
You know, what's crazy about that, like, I grew up like a Texas A&M fan. Like that, I was always like, you know, they had the Wrecking Crew, Patrick Beatty from Galveston. You know, we had a lot of Galveston guys, you know, playing in college and NFL and stuff like that. And I always liked A&M, and kind of like Texas kind of snuck in and like stole me from A&M. So that was kind of like a little different deal. I always liked A&M, but Texas, once they get you on campus, it's over with. You gonna go there.
You know, because right now there's some Aggie fans saying, "Oh no, really? He could have gone to Texas A&M."
Man, you know, RC didn't have a lot of faith in me. You know, he didn't think I was gonna, grade-wise, he didn't think I was gonna make it. You know, so it was kind of a crazy deal. So I had a vendetta against A&M when I played them. You know what I mean? So I wanted to do good against them every time I played them.
With the 19th selection, the Pittsburgh Steelers have chosen defensive tackle from the University of Texas, Casey Hampton.
What were your thoughts when you were drafted by the Steelers?
I really didn't have no thoughts. Like, you know, I really know a lot of Steelers history. I was an Oilers fan growing up. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Phillips, all that stuff, right?
We were battling against the Steelers all the time. So it was fun kind of learning the history and learning like the great defenses and the great teams back in the day. So it was kind of a learning curve when I got here.
What was it like? When did you feel like, wow, this is great to be a Pittsburgh Steeler? It's great to be in a city that loves defense.
It's like when I got here. Like when I got here, started learning the history, started meeting some of the older guys, you know, some of the guys from the 70s and stuff like that. And then I kind of got into the history and learning and seeing how those guys worked and how those guys had great defenses and things like that. And, you know, being a defensive player, you know, you want to be a part of those type of things. So it was a great thing for me.
You had a great friendship with Dan Rooney. How did that come about?
It just kind of happened, man. Like just talking to him, just messing around with him. Like I think him just being around, just being an old school cat, like just being there, just talking to everybody and things like that. And I'm that type of guy. Like I'll talk to anybody, mess with anybody, man. And he was just my guy, dude. Like he was just cool. Like, you know what I mean? You can just go up to him, talk to him about anything, like just mess with him about it. And like what's crazy about it is any conversation we had was never really about football, ever. It was always about life, family, different things like that. And that was my type of thing. Like it was a different type of relationship. He wasn't all about football. Like that's what I think that's what made the relationship really great.
You had one of the most unique nicknames I've ever heard, Big Snack. How did you get that nickname? What'd you think of the nickname?
First of all, none of my teammates never called me that, right? So I'm gonna tell you how I got the name. So we were at training camp, and some people were interviewing people like the best nicknames on the team and things like that. And Travis Kursky, I never forget. They were asking him who has the best nickname on the team or whatever. He was like, "Oh yeah, man, you know, Ham, we call him Big Snack because you know all the time he's snacking and he's eating this and he's eating that and he's just during meetings and whatever. He's always snacking. He's eating, doing this." Nobody never called me that. Like nobody never called me that. So like I come out of lunch or whatever. I don't know when he did an interview or whatever. The people who interviewed him were like, "Yeah, man, I heard they call you Big Snack." I'm like, "Big Snack? Like what are you talking about?" I said, "Well, I guess that's what they call me." So after that, man, everybody just started calling me Snack. Like none of my teammates never called me that when I was here, but all the fans started calling me that, Big Snack, and things like that. So it just kind of stuck. Now all my teammates call me that now. So that's what's crazy about it.
So did Travis just make it up on the spot?
He made the Big Snack thing up, man. That's crazy, man. That's fun. That's a funny deal.
For you as a player, 5-time Pro Bowl, that's not easy as a nose tackle. A lot of time, there are very few nose tackles playing. Obviously, there's more now, but most teams are playing 4-3. Source of pride for you to make 5 Pro Bowls?
A lot of pride, man. You know, playing a position like I play, when you don't get a lot of stats and things like that, it's a bigger deal when you make a Pro Bowl because that means that guys really respect you and they respect what you're really doing. So I took a lot of pride in that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think that myself, along with the other defensive linemen, you know, Aaron, Kiesel, Kimo, you know, all of us, like we were so underrated for what we did, but the real true football people know that the defensive line is what makes it go. So that was a great honor for me to be able to make those type of Pro Bowls.
Because it was a little different for you guys, right? I mean, a lot of what you were doing under that system was eating up blocks, allowing the linebackers. There seems to be a little more freedom in a lot of the 3-4s now for the defensive linemen.
So we always say we played a true 3-4. It wasn't no getting up the field, doing this. It was play the run and get to the pass after you play the run. We were real. I know me myself, and I talk to a lot of guys. Nobody really plays the 3-4 where the nose tackle is two gapping. They don't really understand how hard it is to get front side every time. Like a lot of times they just go run backside and get behind the block. But we ran a true 3-4. You know, me and LeBeau would always talk about it. I'm like, man, LeBeau, I want to make some plays too. Like I want to get out there and make some plays too, you know what I'm saying? But I think that he knew I could play it the true way. So we always played like the tight, traditional 3-4 defense. And I just got used to it, man. That was just what it was.
How important was Dick LeBeau, since you mentioned him, to the defense and the success you had?
Everything. Man, Dickie was everything, dude. Like, I think the biggest thing with Coach LeBeau is him playing football and being the type of player he was, being a coach. He never got on you for making mistakes and doing things wrong because he understood it, because he played it. He know you wasn't trying to do it wrong, and he know you were trying to do the right thing and you just messed up. So he wouldn't like overly get mad or whatever. He was a player's coach. Like, you know, he coached like he played. Like he understood a lot of the things that a lot of coaches, when they become coaches, act like they don't understand. They act like you're not supposed to make mistakes. You're not supposed to do this, do that. So that's what made him a great coach, man. He was a people's person, and he understood players by being a player.
He remembered that the game is hard.
Absolutely, no doubt. He would let you know that too.
So you dominated in Super Bowl 40. You played a great game. You also had a sack. You didn't get a lot of sacks in your career. Take me through your sack of Matt Hasselbeck.
So I think we were running like we were slanting. I think it was like a defense where everybody was slanting one way. So I came off and I slanted that way, but the center kind of overwent that one way. Once I got that hand on him, it was over. He was a little bitty dude, you know what I'm saying? He was a little bitty dude. When I put that hand on it and got him in the air, it was over with, man. I don't get a whole lot of chances to get sacks, so to be able to get a sack in the Super Bowl, that was crazy, dude. It was crazy.
You watch it on TV. What's it like to be on that field? The confetti's coming down, you're looking around, you're hugging your teammates, and you're a Super Bowl champion.
I think that's what it's all about. You always think about it as a kid, and you dream about it as a kid, but it's like when it happens, it's like better than what you ever thought about. And I think the big thing is like being there with your teammates and the guys you went through the journey with, and like enjoying that with our families and things like that, man. I think that was like one of the most amazing. The first one was like one of the most amazing things like I've ever been through in my life, man. Just that lifelong struggle and battle to get there. It was just fulfilling thing.
Second one just as sweet?
Yeah, no doubt. It was just as sweet. But the first one is the first one. You know what I'm saying? It's always good to get them, but the first one, that was really, really sweet.
Are you one of those people that looks back and says, with some pride, I played for one team in the NFL?
No doubt. And I think playing at the level I played at for that long for one team in the organization, a storied organization like this, I think that's a really big deal. I take a lot of pride in that.
And when you think about, you mentioned some of the guys from the 70s, the rich history of the Steelers defense. To be on the 75th anniversary team, what did that mean to you?
It means a lot, man. It was really surprising, really humbling to me, especially with the steel curtain, the defensive lines, the guys they had back in the day, man. It was a really humbling thing, surprising thing to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't get a lot of stats and things like that, but it just let me know that the football people and the people who know football really respect what I did, and that's a really great thing for me.
Is there a bond with those guys, those great players from the 70s? I mean, you mentioned reaching back into the history and just talking about the game obviously has changed a little bit, but reaching back over eras and making connections with former players.
Oh, no doubt about it, man. Me and Joe, Mel, seeing those guys around, man, it's a great thing, man. And when those guys when they come up to you and say, man, you know, you could have played with us, or you could have did your thing with us, man, that's a big deal, dude. Like, it's nothing like that, man. To have those guys give you that ultimate respect that you could have played with them, that's a big deal.